When I speak to people that saw the episode, and I got phone calls from my mom's friends and stuff, and everyone's saying, "Oh, Amy Shark, she was jealous of you. Like, she said no." I feel like she did me a big favor. It felt like she could smell my weakness, which was that I was still scared of who I am. Am I cool enough? Do I sound good? Am I weird? These things that you can't have that. Like, you just can't.
You know what? We about to take off.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Before We Take Off. Today's guest is an artist who expresses herself through both sound and movement. She's a singer, songwriter, artist, belly dancer, model, someone whose creative journey sits at the intersection of vulnerability, performance, and self-expression. Tyra, welcome to the launch pad. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I am so good. It's so great to catch up with you. I've known you for about a minute now, and it's definitely been a long time since we've sat down and had a chat. So I really do appreciate you coming on the show, spending a bit of time with us today.
That's okay. Yeah, I think you were the first person to give me a gig ever. I think that was like
No way.
9 years ago. That was the first show I did
Actually?
at was it the back room or something?
Yeah, did we do the back room or did we? I think we've done a couple together, right? Like we've done, yeah, we definitely, yes, we did the back room. I remember that. And we did, that was in Brisbane, in Annalee or whatever.
Yes. Yeah,
And
because you
then we
don't live
did
in Brisbane anymore. Hey.
I don't. I live in Melbourne. I live in Melbourne. But we did another show. We did another show, right? At Woolly
Yes.
Mammoth?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. No way. I was the first person to give you a gig. That's crazy.
I think I was 18 at the time. I was at 18 or 19.
Yo, that is wild. Well, hey, serendipitous. But look at you doing big things, hey? But I want to get into all of that. I want to get into all the fantastic things that you've been doing. But for people who are discovering you for the first time, who is Tyra?
Hmm. I would say that I have been writing music since I was 7. So at the core of who I am is I'm a songwriter. That's what I have dedicated most of my time to. But I have uh I have a vision. So as you can see behind me, that's like my artwork and stuff. I kind of
Yeah.
try to create worlds with all the art that I make, whether that's
Yeah.
music or dance or yeah, visual art.
You've always been like so multifaceted, which I think has been so great. Like, does that do you have you always lent towards the music more or like what is your core?
Yeah, definitely the music is the most important part of it all for me.
Yeah.
But I did take on dance because, well, when I was 4, that was my first time on stage because my mom was a Latin dancing teacher, and so she kinda
Yeah.
introduced me to the stage for the first time as a little dancer, and so I think I've had to do a whole full circle moment because I think when I was about 6, I was like, "No more dancing, like, I don't wanna dance, I just wanna, like, just write music," and then I just worked on music for a long time as a kid, and then when I started doing shows, after I met you and doing shows for a couple years, I realized that something felt missing all the time when I was up there on stage. It just felt like I was so stiff and I couldn't express myself enough just through the music. So that's when I started, um, yeah, doing dance. I did all sorts of different kind of dance, hip hop, salsa, reggaeton, like all of these different styles. And it was belly dance that was the one that was like, damn, this feels like me. This feels like something that I connect with. And it took me a while to get to that. And the interesting way that I actually got to that was that I was really curious about Egyptian music just randomly. I was like, just one night, I was like, Egypt, like, what does Egyptian music sound like? Like, I wonder what that sounds like. I don't
Yeah.
know about it.
Yeah.
and then I went looking for it everywhere. I couldn't find like good sources to hear the actual music. And so I thought, oh, if I do belly dancing, like I will learn so much about the culture and about the music. And so even like just, yeah, discovering belly dance has led me to discovering new ways of writing my music because the way that Arabic music, like the writing is just so poetic. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Similar to how
Yeah.
Spanish music is, which I've been inspired by my whole life. It's just a
Of course.
different kind of poetry, which is really beautiful.
And how have you like, being a singer, a songwriter, performer, and like now coming into like, you know, the you've got clearly an expansive dance background as well. Like how did you find those two different parts of you connecting?
Um, that's been a bit of a road as well, trying to fit both of them in a way that people can understand. Because it's been a while that people have not understood like, "Oh, am I a belly dancer or am I a singer? Am I a belly dan" And that's also part of my own, journey, like branding myself and stuff. So, um, I think I'm coming to the end of that, hopefully, because I would love to just be able to it's really simple though. It's actually so much more simpler than I think people think. If I just have the opportunity to um, you know, play a show again where it's my original music, it makes so much sense
Mm,
because it comes naturally anyway. Before I became a professional belly dancer, I was already, doing all this, but I didn't really know what was going on. But now it's like I'm so much more pro at it. So I'll be able to dance
yeah.
to my own music and express myself so much more. It's been interesting having to yeah, try and find the point where these 2 connect in a way that makes sense.
And so like when you're I guess when you're songwriting, how has picking up belly dancing kind of then changed the way you approach songwriting now?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think it's more about when I start imagining music videos and stuff like that, the visual world of my music has definitely expanded because there's so much more I can do with what I've learned.
So are you looking at it like I guess when you're writing a song, you're now visually thinking what it looks like. Like even if you don't have a music video planned for it, like is that still where your mind is going? Like you're visually thinking of it now?
Yes, oh, definitely, and it's always been like that. When I write
Yeah.
music, I can see, like, a movie playing. And now it's just like it doesn't have to just be stories, it can also be like choreography and stuff.
I mean, that's pretty cool because it's like you're almost, letting both the sound and the movement kind of guide the shape of the music, which is really cool.
Mhm.
Do you see yourself as like you're an artist balancing many forms or someone just balancing like multiple creative identities?
Yeah, maybe if I think balancing the identities is something that I'm working through at the moment a lot, especially after my recent experience with the idol. I realized that,
Yeah.
wow, did I really just bring myself in as the belly dancer? Like, that's not who I am. Like, yes, it is part of me, but what about the busker who was, singing on the streets for 6 years? And what about the songwriter from a little kid that started writing,
Mm,
all this all of this stuff, but then it's like the last 3 years I was a professional belly dancer, so that's who I am. Like, yeah, it's been a bit, I wouldn't say shocking, but for me, it was a little
yeah.
bit like, I really need to really hone down on who who I really am and how I wanna present myself to the world.
Right. So like you didn't want belly dancing to essentially be your identity in a sense. Like you didn't want that to be where people would just automatically go to.
Yeah, well, because it is part of my identity, but it's not it got highlighted a lot. It got like, "Ooh, the belly dancer," which is it I knew that that was gonna be, like, a cool thing, which is, I think, also why I kind of came in like that and was like, "Yeah, yeah, I belly
Mm,
dance." Even though, I was also a children's entertainer for the past 5 years, but I didn't really it doesn't really go well with what I'm creating, whereas belly dancer is like, that actually goes well with the music I write. It's sensual, it's, like, mysterious, it's, like, ancient and psychedelic, like, belly dancer, okay, that kinda works with my what I'm creating. But
yeah.
then, after the fact, I'm like, "Wait, but that's not fully what it is, though."
No, I get that. I get that. Like, I guess I want to hone in on your relationship with music a little bit, because like you said, you were busking for a long time. Like, you're a very great songwriter. What has your relationship with music been like growing up? Like, you spoke about, your mom was a dancer and you kind of discovered dancing young, but like, when did music become like, yeah, this is what I'm meant to do?
I I remember precisely I was at school, and I think I was 15 at the time. 15? No, I was 16. And, I was already always writing songs because I just loved doing it since I was a really small kid. When I was 7, when I first got my first keyboard, it was something I loved to do in my free time. But I didn't really take it fully, like, seriously until I was 16. I was on the Oval, and I was on my laptop looking at all the songs I wrote, and the songs that I wrote, they were all like at the time, I was discovering rap music, so a lot of hip hop, and I was writing a lot of rap, but I knew that I didn't wanna be like, I wasn't gonna be a rapper. It was just, like, something fun. I was playing with rhythms, and that's actually, poured a lot into my music, even though I don't really like rap, but I do a lot of rhythmic stuff with my, like, singing rap. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I was on the Oval and I thought, "Oh my god, like, I need to if I really wanna do this, I need to start writing some proper songs." And that's when I started writing, Magic Carpet Ride and Love's Got Me High, like some of the music that I my first EP. And yeah, I think I was 16. But before that, um, yeah, when I was a lot younger, I remember there's this story about my my parents being so, like, excited about my music when I started writing, and I didn't tell them until I had a show. So, well, I think I was, like, 14 at
Mm,
my first high school, and there was like a soiree, so they were inviting parents to come watch the children, and I performed one of my songs on the keyboard and singing, and people were so impressed, and my parents were like, "Oh my god, like, you could do this, like, this is you could do this, like, for work, like, you're really good." And I was like, "This is it. This is the beginning of my career, like, I've got my parents on my side now, like, I've got support. I'm gonna
yeah.
just, like, go ahead." And I remember looking at myself in the mirror the next day and be like, "This is it, like, this is my life." And then they turned around that next day in the car, and they said to me, "You know, you can't do that. You can't do music for work. I know we said yesterday, but, like, it's a hobby, that's all. So don't just forget about it. Don't think it." And it was so, like, intense at that moment. I thought, "Oh, damn." I thought I was gonna, like, have support to do this. Looks like I'm gonna have to fight for this. Like, this is then it became that. Like, my parents were very, they want me to become a doctor, and they still give me crap to this
Yeah.
day because I'm not living the life that they kinda wanted me to live, but I'm happy with myself, I think I'm
Yeah.
doing alright. Yeah.
I mean, you're absolutely killing it, but like how do you find that? Because I think I was the same. Like, my parents also, like, I definitely remember my dad. I don't know if it was like one of my birthdays or something like that, but my dad was like, "I didn't take this music thing seriously for you until I saw you on stage one time." Like, the first time he saw me on stage, I might have been 16, 15, 16, and I was doing a similar thing. I feel like all musicians kind of grow up listening to hip hop and rap. I was part of a rap group. I was
I
part of
love
a
that.
hip hop group. And yeah, we put on a show and we went on stage and like my dad came and like, you know what, to give my dad props, like I think he's come to just about everything I've done, whether it's a soccer game, whether it's a cricket match, like he's been everywhere. So like yeah, we put on this show and then that evidently for him was like the first time that he was like, "Oh, he's taking this music thing like for real, for real." But I know deep down, like, they always wanted me to do something because it's so, like, music is so uncertain and unsafe and all that kind of stuff that they say. But, like, yeah, like, how do you go navigating the fact that, like, yourself, you want to do this thing and this is who you are at your core, but, like, you don't have your family's backing or, like, not as much as you might want?
Um, yeah, I think I deal with it by thinking like this is part of my story, and it kind of makes it exciting because when I do, you know, make it somewhere to the point where they think, okay, she's successful, okay, maybe we were wrong, you know, I'll feel really good. So I think
Yeah.
it's just part of my movie, it's just part of my film. There's always gonna be if it's just like, if it's positive the whole way through, it's not as exciting.
No, I love that. I love that that's your, like, outlook of, like, this is part of your story. This is part of your journey, and, like, yeah, that's a fantastic way to. So tell me, like, when you write songs, like, how much of your music is drawn from real life?
Everything. There's not really like, I've tried to write songs out of, like, nothing, like, just random stories that I can imagine, and they just don't come out as real. Like, I don't believe what I'm saying. They just don't turn out
Mhm.
as good songs. So the songs that I end up really liking and releasing are the ones that, they're real life. They're my experiences and my feelings, my fantasies, everything.
And how are you choosing, like, when? Because my problem as a songwriter is, like, I'll write something and it'll be gone. I'll release it. Like, I've never ever written something that stays maybe there's a couple of things that I've written that have stayed in the vault, but, like, typically, it's like I'm writing something for the purpose of releasing. Like, how are you choosing what is kinda going out to the world and what's staying for just you?
That's something I'm still sorting out because I haven't released music for like 5 years. So I'm just like hoarding all of my music, but that's because I'm also producing it and mixing it and stuff like that. So I'm trying to perfect all of it. And I'm starting to think like maybe I'm just being so perfectionist now, and because I feel like my last project, well, the last before the last, was so well received that I was just kind of like scared a little bit. But the last like projects that I released, they got deleted. I deleted them from because I was listening to my ex management thinking that, oh, okay, I'm going to rebrand and all this, and there was just a lot of confusion about releasing in the first place for me.
Yeah.
But I think I'm coming to a point now where it's I'm starting to realize that it has affected me a lot as an artist, not being able to release my music. And there has been a pattern where I had managers and stuff kind of stopping me from releasing my music. And then I'm starting to realize, and then I'm not with the managers anymore. Everyone's gone. I'm completely
Yeah.
independent, and I still am not releasing my music, and I have no one to blame. So I feel like this is a lot deeper for me. There is something that I need to push through, and I'm getting there. And I can't wait because I feel like once I
Mm.
push through that and just get the music, like, just feel ready to just get it out there, um, it'll feel so good.
Where did you, like at what point did you decide being under management was no longer for you?
I think after the last manager relationship that I had, um, and that's because I haven't had the best luck. Like the last manager inspired me so much, but we just didn't do, and like nothing happened. There was no releases. They were very inconsistent. They were telling me this date we're going to do this, and then the date would come and I'd be waiting, and then there was like crickets, and it was just like, what is going on, like. And then I just got so frustrated that I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And then the one before that, they also did something similar where I was excited to work with them, and they said, yeah, we're going to do all this for you, and it's going to be great. And then I signed the contract, and then they just they're gone. I don't know where they just leave me, and yeah, I think it was after the second one where I was like, was it? No, I've had three management things. Um, the second manager was awesome though. He was amazing. He did so much for me. He got me out of my first contract, which was such a horrible, like predatory contract that I was in. I was 18, like I just trusted them. It was just so bad, and I got
Yeah.
really lucky with that. But then, him and I just didn't like, get along with certain values and stuff, and we had a falling out, and then I was alone again, and I was like, "Oh, what do I do? I'm just floating. I don't know what to do." And then this other manager comes, and I was like, "Wow, this is the one that's gonna get me somewhere." And I think it's just like,
Yeah.
bro, like, why am I like, I need to just stop relying on others. And one thing that the last manager said to me that stuck to me to this day, because I don't know, he didn't really know. I felt like he didn't know. We didn't know each other, but and yet it felt like he knew me more than anyone. And it was just really weird. And he said to me one
Mm.
time that it was like, you need to stop like putting the authority on other people. You're always putting authority. You are the authority. And it was confusing for me, because then when I would try to be the authority, he would get weird, and I'd be like, okay, I'll step back. And it was just like a confusing dynamic. But I realized, like,
Yeah.
after coming out of it all and having time to think and reflect and be in the abyss floating, not knowing what I'm doing, um, it's the path of a trailblazer, like we're going
Yeah.
through the bushes, and we have to, like, no one else has done the music that we have done in the way that we've done. Like, we're the only ones that can do it. And that's what I figured out. It's like, okay, yeah, I need to be the authority, and I need to just stop relying on others and just do this on my own, and really, really have that mentality, so that the next time a team or whatever comes about, I will be in a much better mentality to lead rather than be led, because no one can lead my music career. I just need to just stop that thinking that I can't do it, because I can, and we can as
Yeah.
artists. We need to. That's part of our work.
100%. It's like that moment of self-belief when it hits is like so euphoric, right? Like that moment when you're like, man, I can actually do this by myself. Because I feel like movies and TV shows, like they really glorify the whole thing of like artist managers and all these kinds of things. But it's like,
Yeah.
man, it's not all roses, you know what I mean?
Mm-mm. Exactly.
And but hey, like look at you, props for getting out of those situations where like, they didn't work for you. But like again, I think you're at such a strong point in your career and like where you want to be. So yeah, more power to you for real. I want to lean into obviously you touched on Australian Idol a little bit. You've been on the latest season of Idol. What made this the right time to audition?
I think I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't have much to lose anymore when it comes to my music career, because in the past I always thought, even in high school when I was really starting to take this seriously, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe I should go on these TV shows, because, it gets you exposure and it gets you seen and whatever. But then I
Yeah.
said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this like a proper way, not just like a shortcut way. I want to like build myself. I want to busk on the streets. I want to write, meet producers. I want to do all of that and become more like a full artist before I go on a show like that. And I honestly didn't think I would go on a show, but it came to the point, like, I feel like it's been so long now, and I'm just like, damn, okay, I thought I would be a bit further than I am in terms of, metrics and stuff. Have come a long way in terms of being an artist, but in terms of the material success or whatever, you know. Um, so I thought, I actually wasn't planning at all to go on the show. I didn't even know it was happening. I just And then I started seeing this vocal coach, um, Lisa, and she's amazing. And I honestly, I didn't even want to get a vocal coach for so long. I was like, no, I taught myself. I listened to all of the jazz singers and Amy Winehouse and, all these amazing artists, and now I'm listening to Arabic singers, like, I can teach myself, and that's how I've been doing it this whole time. But then I thought, "You know what? I think it's time to actually, if I'm gonna take this seriously, like, even though, yes, I'm consider myself more of a songwriter than a vocalist, like, singer, like, yes, but I am a singer, and I should start seeing what I can do to have the best voice possible. So, of course, I should get a vocal coach. Like, of course, I want to get better. It'll be so much faster with a vocal coach. So, I started seeing her, and then she mentioned to me, "Oh yeah, Australian Idol's happening. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." There's nothing like, why wouldn't I do that at this time now?
How did it feel walking into a space where you were about to be, seen and judged on a national level?
Yeah, that was the scariest part. I think I did not prepare for that. I thought, I've been belly dancing in front of all these hundreds of people, not at one time, but, every single weekend, just performing in front of groups of people, sometimes larger groups. And then, with the singing, I've sung in front of larger groups too, like at Janae Aiko in 2019, I performed open for her. I've had all this experience performing. There's nothing that can scare me. I started with stage fright as a 17-year-old, but then, I just pushed through, and I have no stage fright anymore until the next level, which was being on national TV. Okay, that's different. Like, that's different. And I did not,
That's a whole new ball game, right? Like
for
it's
real.
because it's not only the fact that you're on TV, but like being on TV in the age of the internet, that's gotta be like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't expect to, I thought I was more prepared for that kind
Yeah.
of, uh, environment. I just thought I was. But when I got in there, I was like, "Whoa, okay, I did not expect it to feel like this." It was very, bright lights and cameras everywhere, and famous people, and lots of, other artists, like singers trying to, get somewhere. And it
Mm,
honestly was really fun, but when it came to my point where I had to go in and be in front of the judges, which in itself, that's already like, it's different if you're at a show performing and then you're being filmed for national TV. I think that's where I would flourish a bit better with my stage experience. But because the environment, the dynamic was like, okay, I'm coming in here, there's no escape. They're just directly looking at me. It's an intimate performance. There's three people watching, and they're there
mm.
to judge you. Like, it was already like, oh, this is like,
Yeah.
I feel like a peasant. Please love me.
I've never thought of it that way where it's like, when you're on stage, right? Like, and this is definitely my mentality when I'm on stage. I'm like, I'm gonna go out. Whatever happens on that stage was meant to happen on that stage the way it did and all of that kind of stuff. And I typically don't really care. Well, that's not the right way to say it, but like, I'm not really worried about like, oh, how is this person going to perceive that note or this movement that I make or anything like that. Whereas in this case, you're like, okay, like everything you do is essentially under a microscope.
Especially your energy. And for me, this was the biggest learning, like the thing that learned the most out of this experience was that when you go on a TV show like this, it's basically like this massive mirror. As my coach said to
Mm,
me, that's what it is. And some people, it can take a long time to recover from that, because you kind of realize, oh, like, who actually am I? Like, that is me. Like, when you see yourself, perform
yeah.
in that position where you're completely vulnerable, it's like, how do you turn up for that? And I was really, really upset after my performance because I was not happy at all. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't show, but I cried before, I cried after. I cried so much after. Like, I was walking out even though they said yes and I only got the one no in the beginning, like, that was still a good thing because it meant I was coming back. But I was not happy because I didn't like that I got so, so nervous that it felt like it felt like the first time I sung in front of an audience. It felt like the first time I ever sung in front of an audience when I practiced at home, I sounded great, but then when I sung here, it was like, what's going on? I sound different. This is not how I usually sing." And so it was the same thing, and I was like, "Now everyone's gonna see this video of me singing, and that's my worst performance
Yeah.
filmed ever." Yeah, so I was, not not happy about it.
Were the nerves like because of the judges, because of the cameras? Like, where do you think you kind of picked up those nerves?
I think it all comes down to my confidence in who I am, and that's what I was saying
Yeah.
about before about one of the biggest things they judge you on there is your energy. And what I realized with the people that did go through, were people that had an energy of being a bit more certain about who they are. And when I speak to people that saw the episode and it's like I got phone calls from my mom's friends and stuff and everyone's saying, "Oh, Amy Shark, she was jealous of you, like she said no and blah blah." And I didn't feel like whatever, people can think things, but I feel like she did me a big favor in being so honest about um that it felt like she could smell my weakness, which was that I was still scared of who I am. I was still unsure,
Right.
like, "Oh, am I, like, good enough? Am I good enough? Am I cool enough? Am I, like, do I sound good? Am I weird?" These things that you can't have that, like, you just can't, like, and I don't
Yeah.
have that when it's my show, but when I'm in this different situation, it came out, and that's why I was the most upset, was because I didn't realize that I still had this energy inside of me of uncertainty about me as an artist.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel that. Like, what coming out the end of it though, like, what did that experience kind of teach you about yourself?
Well, I came out with so much more clarity, which was great. So much more clarity on yeah, who I am and
Yeah.
how I wanna how I wanna, yeah, present myself next time.
So has it changed the way you see yourself as an artist?
No, not at all. It was just like it was just like a reality check. It was like, "Oh, okay, so this is where I really am at when it comes to the big world." Because in my little world here in Brisbane, like, yeah, like, people know me, people respect me, people have seen me perform my best performances, but I'm not gonna I don't want to just stay in my little world. Like, I wanna go out into the big world, but in order to do that, you know, you need not just courage because I have that, but it's a lot of, like, yeah, just confidence, just
Yeah.
full, just straight, solid confidence that this is me, take it or leave it, rather than, this is me, take it please." Like,
Yeah.
oh, it makes me cringe when I think about it. I was so annoyed at how I dealt with it.
Nah, I hear you. And again, like you've been on national TV in the age of the internet, right? So like you've got three judges kind of cast their opinions on you, but then you've got the whole nation, hundreds of thousands of millions of viewers kind of cast their opinion on you at the same time. So it's like it's nerve-wracking in the moment, but I like the fact that like your way of coming out on the other side is like, I'm above these nerves. Like, you're better than nerves in a sense. So for
Yeah.
people who have just discovered you, for people who may have only discovered you through Idol, what do you want them to understand about Tyra, the artist?
That I'm not just the belly dancer who sings.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
nah.
yeah,
That I'm actually the songwriter who has been going at this for the past 10 years, performing all around the city. I've had failed contracts. There's all these things that is part of my story that makes it so interesting and I think very inspiring to anyone that wants to follow their dreams. And I think that's what I stand for a lot is just like, yeah, dreaming big and never giving up, even when, the people closest to you don't believe in you or
Yeah.
people above you don't believe in you. And the most important thing is that you believe in yourself.
100%. Like, what would you say people most often misunderstand about your journey or your artistry?
Um, I think people don't, and I don't blame anyone because I'm a little bit like private. I haven't been on social media sharing everything that's been happening with my life, but I'm not just singing songs. Like, I'm writing them, I'm producing them, I'm also living my life. Like, I was almost homeless like a couple times over the past like 3 years. It was just hectic. Like, life has just been crazy. But obviously, everyone's going through stuff. So it's not
Yeah.
like I want people to know I've been going through shit. That's why I'm not releasing music.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's just that there's certain things and I will release the music when the time is right and when the divine timing, there is divine time. I'm not going to rush things. And it frustrates me when people say to me like just release it, No, I've done that before. I've just released it and then what happened? Nothing. It's no plan behind it. There's no photos, there's no videos, no, you can't just release it. Like, there's so much that goes into this because this means so much to me. I'm not just going to throw it out there like, oh yeah, like I don't want to do that. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the work is to a standard that I feel pleased with, and then I will release it and do all the marketing and stuff. Because I am a one person team right now. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
a team anymore. I did at at a few stages, but that didn't work out for me either. Like, I think it's just, yeah, people just need to know that I'm doing it and I will do it and it'll just
Yeah.
just chill out. Like, the artist needs to go away and be alone for like 10 years and then come back. And that's basically what I've
Yeah.
done is I'm now
Yeah.
heading towards the end of that hiatus where I'm okay, I'm ready to come back out. Just give me a sec.
I love that. I love that. So you've got some big things coming. I can imagine. I mean, look, based off your previous work, like what was it the other week or maybe a month or so ago, you posted on your story and it was a clip of like your song "Love's Got Me High," and I was like, this banger, like this, yeah, yeah, this is, yeah. So like based off of that, and even just the rest of the songs that were on that initial project, that initial EP, like I just know that you got some good shit coming and I can't wait. I really cannot wait. So, looking ahead and kind of zooming out a little bit, what does your dream version of this next chapter look
It looks like releasing like a song every month. That's ideally where I want to get to, where I just do a roll out, roll out, roll out.
Yeah.
Because I've got enough songs. I've got so many songs. I've got at least 50 songs that are just like
Yo.
pretty much ready. There's just maybe little production tweaks, but I'm still trying to find a mixing engineer. Like, I'm just so specific and fussy with my sound that been, I haven't been wanting to trust anyone yet with that, but I know
Yeah.
that's part of it. I need to trust someone else because I've been learning to mix myself, but I'm not a mixing engineer. It's just I'm not there yet. I still need a few
Yeah.
more years to get to that. Um, but yeah, releasing music and posting every day like I used to back in the day when I was releasing music because I have so many things I can Like, my life is so interesting. Like, I've got 4 animals that have come into my care. They're so cute. Like, I can post with them. I can go ice skating, belly dancing, pole dancing, like all these things that I do that are so like when people close to me watch me do these things, it's I see how much joy and fascination it brings them. So I know that it will do the same for the rest of the world. There's people waiting. I know there's a whole audience out there that just don't even know about me yet. And I can't
Yeah.
wait to meet them.
That is fantastic. And I can't wait for them to meet you for real. For real, for real. Looking at, your journey so far, your background, started in busking and then you've kind of taken off with the music thing, you've taken off with the dancing thing. Like what kind of artist and I mean now with your journey on Australian Idol as well, like, what kind of artist do you feel yourself becoming?
Well, I think at the core of it, it's becoming a much more independent artist,
Yeah.
even though I've basically been independent, but now it's like really like, no, I'm an independent artist. And really coming into like yeah, just feeling more confident about all these certain things that I do, all these aspects of me that used to feel confusing. And
Yeah.
because when others feel confused and stuff, like on Idol, the judges were like, "Oh, we're a bit confused." Like, they were reflecting back to me how I was feeling about me, because there
Yeah.
I am doing all this belly dancing stuff, even though I didn't really wanna do that, but I thought, "Oh, this is what's gonna get me, you know, singing more or stand out or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah.
They were just mirroring back my own energy, so I think it's yeah, I'm becoming less of a confused artist because 'cause I've been a confused artist for a while.
Yeah.
When there's no need. It's just a confidence thing, and because I haven't had much support throughout this, it's easy to get like that, but
Yeah.
I'm getting to that age where it's like, "Ugh, who cares about support? Like, I just wanna do this. Like, why do I need to wait for others to be like, "Yes, you're doing so good. Yes, you're doing the right thing. You're going the right way." No, I don't need anyone else to tell me that anymore. Like, well, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
70 years old and still, am I going the right way? No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so cool. And like, yeah, you're right in the sense that you don't wanna set yourself up in the sense of you waited until it was too late for it to happen. So like, yeah, you just gotta go out and do it.
because it's so much it's so easy. Like in the age of the internet, like it's so easy now to create your own thing and be all of these things and just be those things. And but if you be those things consistently to where it becomes your thing, that's when people are not going to be confused anymore because they will see, oh, that's them.
That's so true. And like it's so easy to have an identity crisis. Especially on the internet. Um, what are you saying back to 17-year-old Tyra right now? Like what are you saying back to yourself?
Just just keep going. Honestly, I don't think there's anything I could have done better, or I think everything has been like this has just been the journey. This is the journey, and
Yeah,
even though sometimes it's painful, like the whole Idol experience was traumatic. I'll be real, it was traumatic for me because in the end it felt like I was being rejected again. So it's this constant thing of
mm,
rejection. But when you look at all the stories of the greats and stuff, like the people that really just kept going until they created something incredible, they all have this story of being rejected a million times before they
yeah,
actually got their break. So yeah, I would just say to my little self, like, don't worry, just don't be happy when you get rejected because that's just another push in a better direction. Don't waste time thinking about, was that my fault? Like, oh, who cares? Just keep going.
It's like that old saying, like, when one door closes, another one opens. Tyra, it's been so great chatting to you, man. Thank you so much for spending a bit of time with us here on Before We Take Off. We wrap up every conversation the same way with three rapid fire questions. So I'm going to throw these questions at you. Don't even think about them. Just the first thing that come to mind. Are you ready?
Okay, ready?
All right. What is one thing you would do again?
Ooh, I would get a coach and go ice skating. Get really good at ice skating again.
I love that. I love that. On the other side, what is one thing you'd never do again?
I was gonna say fall in love, but um no, I would do that again. What wouldn't I do again? Jeez. I would never sign a contract without seeing a lawyer.
That is a very fair shout. And to anyone listening to this show, to this episode, and yeah, if you ever want to engage anyone's services, particularly in the managerial sense, always involve a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer too, not just any lawyer. Speak to someone in entertainment. All right, Tyra. And last question. Last question. Thinking about your career, thinking about your journey, what is one piece of advice you wish someone told you at the start?
I think I wish someone had told me to not be so trusting of people in the industry just because they can offer you an opportunity, and to trust yourself more than anyone else, because I had gut feelings from the beginning of all of my situations, and I didn't listen.
You gotta, yeah, that moment when you lock in and trust yourself. It's super important. I hear you. I hear you. Tyra, thank you so very much for joining us today. Tell the people where they can find you, where they can support you, where it is, what it is. Tell them.
Yes, thank you. You can find me on Instagram. That's where I post a lot of my stuff. You can listen to all my previous music and future music on all platforms. If you just search up Tyra, Tyra. If it doesn't come up since I haven't released stuff in a while, you can search up Magic Carpet Ride Tyra and it'll definitely come up. I'm on YouTube as well. My music videos are on there. I Dream of Tyra or just Tyra, Magic Carpet Ride always comes up.
For real, everybody check it out. We'll make sure, as always, that we put all that information in the description. But check out Tyra. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mufara. This has been Tyra, and this has been another episode of Before We Take Off. Thank you once again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Tyra, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know what? We about to take off.